brass tacks.
Yes, brass tacks. So let's talk about your movie. Michael Joy is the one who wrote it, and then we have Jared Cohn. Cohen? Cohn.
Cohen.
Cohen? Okay.
Yeah.
Who is the director.
And, yeah. He is a busy guy.
Yes, I found that out.
Very talented, very busy.
And you're the lead actor. That's
Wow.
your title, the lead actor. And that's how Michael has thrown it at. Here's the lead actor.
Thank you, Mike. Michael. Yeah, no, it's. I guess the character is the central character. There's other names that I'm like beyond like honored and thrilled and just over the moon to be involved with the project. So those names are the ones where they throw out like Bill Moseley and Bill Oberst Jr. and Trey Ireland and I mean the list is just like Kane Hodder, Michael Berryman. So, but yes, I mean the character Donald Connolly I play is he's like the central character. All of the stuff happens to him, and he's the one that's just like very, very busy throughout the movie.
Okay, so tell me about Donald Connolly. Tell me what you can tell me about the movie right now.
Oh, well, Michael Joy wrote this script that's just out of this world. It's so funny, and it moves so well, and it touches on all these different parts of the horror genre. He's with, it's a horrornews.net presentation. It's their first film, and Michael is the manager at horrornews.net. So he already knows, like, I get the sense that he has this sort of like overflowing like toy chest of ideas and inspirations from horror. And he was able to just like funnel it all into this amazing script, this story. So I play Donald Connolly, who is just sort of an average nice guy, which is what I specialize in. I as much as I love horror and horror films and just the idea of acting in horror films almost exclusively, you look at me and you're just not like, you're not scared really. It's more of like who's this dad that lives next door and takes his kid to soccer practice? But Donald has come up with this miracle drug. He works at a company that he's sort of like the brains behind this discovery of this drug that will help people awaken from comas. Yeah, so it's like a breakthrough. It's a breakthrough discovery, really.
Right up there with The Awakenings. Do you remember that movie with Robin Williams, as a matter of fact?
Yes, yeah. This is more of like a sort of a over the top sort of dramatized for the sake of this film, but it's like it's like that, and that's sort of kind of on the cusp of like bringing this to the public. So it's still in the sort of, would you call it beta trial, beta testing. It hasn't really been released, but all the results are promising. Everything that's being shown is promising. So my character Donald is he's sort of for the good. He's doing this for the good. Bill Oberst Jr. He's a bad guy. He's in short, I'm simplifying this for the sake of just explaining this, so I don't overshare or overtalk. But he's a bad guy. He essentially doesn't want this for reasons of the other corporate sort of interests that are involved in the not just the coma industries, but sort of like the healthcare industry. It's a timely kind of place setting to have for this movie on because of things like healthcare. Well, healthcare I guess is always timely, isn't it? I mean, the Obamacare thing it's just a more recent version of kind of everybody trying to figure out a fair way to have everyone be healthy and covered and have their. So this is you essentially have myself, who's come up with this discovery, this wonderful drug, and then Bill's character doesn't want it to be released because it would take money away out of the pockets of these other interests that are more interested in making money. So and our characters are both. We work together. We're familiar with one another, and we go way back. But I'm not seeing his way, and he's not seeing mine. And ironically, he attacks me physically and clubs me and puts me into a coma.
Nice.
So I guess fast forward, and I'm pretty sure this is fine to share, but I am given by my girlfriend the drug, the very drug that I had helped to create. She gives me this drug. Essentially I die, you know, but she's not. It's kind of on that, is he in a coma? Is he going to wake up? Maybe this, it's kind of a desperate Hail Mary. And she gives me this drug, and nothing happens. Until I go into the ground.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. As I had mentioned before, the drug is in the beta. You know, it's still being tested, and something goes horribly wrong with the effect that this drug has on my body, on my deceased, on my corpse. And
Was it intended to be that way? It was supposed to react right away, or was
it's
it?
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to wake you up. It's called awake. I mean, it's supposed to wake you up from comas. But this might be one of those glitches where, since I was dead, and she didn't really know it, it turned me into a zombie. So
Nice.
the movie basically opens with me as a ghost attending my own funeral.
Ghost, guys.
Ghost.
That's our genre.
Ghost. And yeah, I'm sort of there, kind of not really understanding, you know, what my afterlife is all about, because I'm seeing all my family and friends arrive, and nobody's there nobody's paying attention to me. Obviously, they can't see me. My girlfriend does, Leon Mendoza. She senses me, but so that's kind of how it starts with this in the cemetery, and I guess, you know, what they say with ghosts, and you probably know more about this than I do, but there's unfinished business, which is why the spirit, the entity, doesn't just go off to the afterlife. It's sort of stuck in purgatory. So it's one of those things, you know. Obviously, I was brutally murdered, and it hasn't been solved yet. And so you have that dynamic, and then the awful reaction to the drug given to my corpse by Leon. I wake up and turn into a zombie and start eating the guests.
Oh, God.
Very awkward.
So we not only have the ghost part of it. So are you still a ghost?
I'm still a ghost.
And you're watching yourself.
And I'm watching my zombie self.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, so it's like this
wow.
convergence. It's hilarious. I think it's genius.
It's
personally.
double trouble. That's great. I love it.
Yeah, so that's the coolest concept. I mean, just kind of, and I probably did it no justice, because there's, you know, you've got the elevator pitch. I need to get that down. The elevator pitch, but yeah, no, it's such a like great concept. It's original, but it's still familiar.
Something I've always said is, when I come back, you know, after I die, when I come back, I'm going to be a little old lady with a club hitting everybody on the head, saying, yes, there are ghosts out there.
Yes. How fun would that be?
Are you kidding? I know a lot of people I'd like to do that too.
Oh, are you kidding?
Oh, gosh. So that's what an idea. So there's nothing that the ghost can do about what he's doing. Does he try? Is he able to do anything?
Well, the character played by Michael Berryman, who's actually deaf, he can't hear, but he has the ability.
He has the ability to
yeah, so that
nice.
becomes his ally in all of this. So I won't give away the ending, but it has this sort of build to, because it doesn't really. Most of the movie takes place in the cemetery, because there's this mayhem going on, and there's this basically zombie breakout.
More of them? Or
No.
just
I'm
you?
sorry. Yeah, just me. But I mean, that's. Isn't that what they always say about zombies? It's just.
What are those things?
They're
always walking around just grabbing at something.
Yeah, I suppose they do infect others too, but.
Oh, that's a good question. So if you were to eat some of these other people, is there like a spread, or is it just you?
I think it's just
just you.
Yeah, it's just
okay.
it's just contained, but yeah, I mean it's bad enough, you know, to be at a funeral and then to have this going on, and there's all these little side characters that are just hilarious, and I think Michael was nodding to, you know,
bringing in some of those other little
yeah,
things, okay,
and just
little
other
tidbits
like
of things.
yeah, just things that people in the horror world kind of like as an homage.
Yeah,
Is
where
the
you
word.
where you bring in those little pieces that people go, I know what that's from, you know, that type of thing. That's great. Wow.
But we're going to be shooting it in the spring of 2014.
Wow, that's great.
And Michael is producing it with Marie Lamel.
Marie Lamel. Okay.
Marie Lamel. So
We're gonna have to see this one. This one sounds really good. Is there anything else you can tell us about this movie that you you haven't already that might be a little more?
Gosh, what do you want to know? I mean, it's yeah. It's,
I want to know. I want to see it now.
I know. That's when I read the script. That was my reaction. I was like, I want to see this.
Yeah.
And I you know, Bill Oberst Jr., who's a friend, he read it and was very interested in doing it. And I think he threw out my name to Michael Joy. So I'm kind of lucky to be involved through Bill and again, like I think it's a part of like that's kind of if I'm lucky enough to act in horror films, you know, that's probably how I'll be seen as sort of more of the victim, because Donald most certainly is sort of you watch his story and you're rooting for him because something terrible has happened to him and is continuing to happen to his family. Like you know, it's just the ultimate insult to injury. Well, I guess it would be insult to death. He's not really injured, he's dead, but so it's sort of like there's all kinds of fun like tags you could throw on it with like, but I mean the title says it all, dead, you know.
Dead Afterlife.
Yeah, it's sort of.
Well, they've got to have Bill as the bad guy, and they have to have the lead guy be, you know, the handsome doctor or, you know, whatever it is, your doctor. So they have to have, you know, the handsome lead. So that's where you come in, and that's where you fit in quite nicely. It sounds like, you know.
Well, I think it's more of just the guy that you could believe would be sort of doing something good.
Oh,
Not that I'm not a good guy. I mean,
let me have mine, the handsome, you know, lead actor.
Okay, yeah. I guess that is. I won't.
That helps.
I'm a
But
bit
you
nervous.
know, it's always nice when the lead actor sees you on the ice.
Oh, okay.
But
And I'm shirtless throughout most of them. No, kidding.
Oh, see, that helps even more. We'll have to let all the gals know that.
Right. I'll have to start doing sit-ups.
But when you have, you know, the zombie part of it, you know, and then you're zombified, you know, I can't wait to see what they do with you. Because you know, you've got this handsome lead actor, and then you've got the bad guy who's not going to be zombified. But then there's you, you know, and they have to zombify you. And if you take something from the, you know, lead television show that's on TV right now that deals with that, I would say it, but let's not give them any more credit than they need. And then they have to zombify you, you know, that is just way out there, because how do they do that to somebody like that?
Well, I mean, I oddly, I've done it, I mean, not oddly, but I've done it before. I was in a zombie, I was playing an infected doctor, obviously, weirdly. Sort of a mad scientist, if you will. But I went under, I haven't seen it yet. It's not out or not complete or whatever, but I was under makeup for several hours, so I know it involved a lot of makeup.
Nice.
And that's kind of fun. I mean, it's fun to sort of, I have these pictures that I don't know if I can, maybe I can email them to you, but
Okay.
But it's fun to see the progression of how gross. I think that's what they do with zombie movies. Is like, how gross can we make it and get away with it and do it realistically?
Yes.
And I think that's what this movie is good at. Like it satisfies both fans, because obviously there's like monster movie fans, but I think zombie and ghost movies they're sort of separate, and this movie brings them both together, along with like comedy. Like I always think of Evil Dead, and even Evil Dead is like, it's a scary movie, but it's also very funny. So I think some of the horror movies from the '80s are also have that effect. Like you're able to sort of laugh at them, but they have legitimately scary moments. You know.